Hey guys, week number 2 is officially underway. We're on day number 15. We've got a full body mobility program today, 20 minutes long. The only equipment you may need is a pair of yoga blocks. If you're not comfortable in the 90-90 position yet, you need that. Otherwise, no equipment necessary. We're gonna start today off with hip openers. So have a seat with the hips open to 90, knees bent to about 90. We're gonna sit nice and tall, and let's get the hips swiveling side to side. Let's go ahead. So today will be a good opportunity to get a feel for how progress is going so far. Having done daily mobility for the past 2 weeks, if you've been following along closely, let me know down below how things are going. We're gonna have a deep squat at the end, which is a great way to get a feel for what your mobility is like after all of this work. So after this, we're working from the 90-90 position. If you're not comfortable in the 90-90 position, grab a block and you can put that under your bum to help with the stretches. So let's take both legs out to the left-hand side. We've got our 90-90 glute sweep. So reach the torso over top of the left thigh, long and forward, stretching the left glute. And then from here, we're gonna go side to side with that dynamic glute stretch, feeling where is tight and spending time there. So let's get into it. Find what's tight and get after it. Stay nice and long through the spine. Try to work on getting the back as flat as possible. Try to keep the knee open to 90. All right, time for the hard work. So we're gonna sit in our 90-90 position, we're lifting the back leg, so turn the body to face the left thigh, and then the right leg is gonna lift straight up and down to work the right hip. If you can, try to do this with the hands off the ground and lean as little as possible. Here we go, but stay as upright as you can. It's better to stay upright and lift the leg less than to stay leaned way over and lift the leg way high. So super low with the lift and nice and upright with the torso. So we're having to do the work with the hip muscles instead of by using gravity and leaning off. But just a little bit time left here. It's very normal to cramp. I'm sure you're used to it by now in this past couple of weeks here. All right, that's time. So we're gonna do external rotations, so still working that right hip. Turn the torso to face between the thighs, and we're gonna open this knee up, all the way up like so, and pull the knee back as far as you can. Feel the hip working. Try to avoid any pain. So if you're feeling pinching or pain, adjust your position until you can rotate as much as possible, feeling the muscles work, but without feeling any kind of pain. Let's open up, here we go. Chest nice and high. Feel those hips working. Almost there. After this, we're just gonna go do the same 3 movements on the other side, and then we'll be on the back for some hip circles. All right, perfect stuff. So let's switch on over. We got 90-90 the other way, starting with our sweep or dynamic glute stretch. So long through the torso, reaching the chest over that right leg, and then stretch side to side. All right, so here we go. It's an awesome warm-up movement for before deadlifts or before squatting. These really get the hips ready. Okay guys, so come on up. We're gonna turn the torso, facing the right thigh. Left leg is gonna be lifting straight up and down off the ground. Try not to lean off to the side, so we're gonna stay as upright as possible. In a perfect world, we're doing it with the hands off the floor, but feel free to use your hands for support on the ground. And let's get into it. And again, it's better to sit upright more and lift the leg less than to lean and lift the leg a lot. So nice and upright, and just use the muscles of the hip to get that leg off the floor. We're using the internal rotating muscles of the hip to make this happen. Very crampy, it's an uncomfortable sensation, but it does really help open up the hips and strengthen. Almost there. All right, that's time. So we've got the external rotation now with the left leg. So sit up nice and tall. This leg is gonna open and squeeze the glute muscle and open the hips as much as you can, like so. So we'll get ready here. So 3, 2, and 1. So let's get open. Push, stay as upright as you can, and use the hip muscles to rotate the hip. Max effort is the key here. All right, so now that's out of the way, let's lie down on the back. We're gonna do some supine hip circles. So lay flat on the back, the left leg is gonna move first. So each rep, we're gonna change direction. So we're gonna start by pulling the knee to the chest, then go out to the side and around, try to keep the hips squared, and then come back the other way. So each rep, we're changing directions. Work through the largest range of motion that you're able to without rolling the hips and without any pain or pinching. Change directions each rep. Going for maximum range of motion here. We've got a new movement today with crab reaches near the end of the workout. It's a back bend bridging exercise. Lots of rotation. It's very challenging, but feels fantastic to do. All right, so let's take the leg up into our tabletop position. So you can use the hands for support if you'd like for these, but try to do it with the hands off the leg. And we're just gonna extend the leg and pull the toes back toward the knee and then come out of it for a quick rest. So we're just doing reps of some knee extension here. So let's go ahead, extend the knee, pull the toes down toward you for a moment and down. We're just getting that big hamstring and calf stretch. We're gonna be focused on the ankles tomorrow. So you'll learn some new techniques, hopefully, on how to get the ankles a little bit more flexible. All right, keep it moving, guys. Almost there. I really feel the quad working and the back of the leg stretching. That's time. And we're gonna switch sides now. So we got the hip circles on the right, changing directions on each rep, and then extensions yet again. Moving through our largest pain-free range of motion. And here we go. Out to the side. There. All right, so we got our leg extensions overhead. So you can use the hands for support if needed, but try to do it and really challenge yourself to do it with the arms out into a T. We're extending the knee and pulling the toes back toward the body to feel the back of the leg stretch and the thigh working. Just doing some reps here. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds and let's begin. So extend and rest. Let's work through it. All right, so come on up. We're gonna be moving into the upper body now. We've got a cat and cow stretch. So you've seen this many times before. It's a staple. You'll see it many times more through the rest of the program. And if you follow our channel along, you'll see it many times in the workouts. Here we go. It's a staple for a reason. You find it in almost all bodyweight disciplines, yoga, Pilates. They all have a version of this. It's just a great way to move the spine and get it some flexibility. Exhale as you round. Inhale as you arch. Okay, so come to a kneeling seat or comfortable seat, and we've got shoulder cars or shoulder circles. So from here, big circle, push the arm out of the socket as you go around, and once you bring your hand down to the side, we're gonna go the opposite direction each time. Moving through, let's go. Move through your biggest pain-free range of motion and try not to move the torso as you do these. Really feel the shoulder pull itself through the full range of motion here. All right, so let's come down to the knees. We're gonna sit the bum right down on the heels, and for this entire movement, try to keep your bum on the heels. We're gonna bring the right elbow down to the floor and the left hand is up by the head. Actively press the right elbow into the floor as you rotate up and lift the elbow to the ceiling, keeping the hips down. So let's go. The bum on the heels makes sure that the rotation is coming from the upper portion of the spine and not so much from the hips and lower portion of the spine. Looking up at the lifted elbow, halfway. Try to pull that elbow up to the ceiling, push into the floor. Right, and we're gonna switch sides. So we've got the shoulder circles now on the right arm, followed by some T-spine openers. And then we're gonna try that new movement called the crab reach. We've done some crab bridges in some of the workouts. Crab reach is just an evolution of that. So let's go ahead and begin. We got those big shoulder circles all the way up and around. Biggest circle you can without rotating the body and without pain. right, that's time. So we have our T-spine openers, so kneeling T-spine, heels and bum stay connected for the whole time. Let's bring the left elbow down to the floor and the right hand up by the temple. We're gonna rotate up to the sky without letting the bum leave the heels. Here we go. All right, so crab reaches. So we're gonna set up as if we're gonna do that crab bridge. So have a seat on the bum. This time point the fingers behind you. We're gonna be doing the left arm first. So let's bring the right hand off the floor. We're gonna lift into a bridge, turn the head to look down at the left hand and reach the arm up overhead. So let's go ahead, lift up, look down at the hand and reach the arm up overhead, and we're trying to arch the back as much as possible and back down. If you find this too much of a challenge, you can forego the arm overhead and just try to lift the hips and turn the head down. That's totally fine as well. But we're trying to reach up and open the whole side of the body as much as possible. On each rep, turning the head to look down at the floor and eventually thinking about what would it take to get that right hand onto the floor. All right, and we're just gonna switch sides now. So now the right hand is on the floor, left arm is gonna be reaching up, and we finish with our hip openers with no hands, and we'll check in with a deep squat to see how we're feeling, how mobility is going, and see what progress we've been getting. So let's go ahead, right hand on the floor. Let's lift and reach the left arm, looking down at the right hand on each rep. Up we go. Look down at that right hand. Keep it moving. Stay tall on the armpit. All right, guys. So we've got our hip openers, this time hands free. So sit nice and tall. Remember, as you return the hips back, make sure you're pushing the hip back to where it came from so you don't crawl forward with the bum. As tall as you can with the torso, trying not to lean back. Stay nice and tall as we roll through these hip openers. Feel the hips really working and core working to maintain that upright posture as we do these. All right, and our final thing today, we're gonna sit in our deep squat. So set yourself up, feet just a bit wider than hip width or whatever your comfortable squat width is. I'm gonna sit down into the squat. Keep the spine as tall as you can, and you can use the arms on the insides of the knees to push the spine straight and sit as tall as you can. The goal is to eventually be nice and upright and have the toes facing forward. Hold it nice and tall. Open up through the spine. Open up through the hips. Simply sitting in this position is such a great way to open up the hips and get a little bit more flexible, especially in your squat position, obviously. But There we have it, guys. Day number 15, we've begun week 3. So far, so good. We'll see you tomorrow to get the ankles. Have a good one.